What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Sagittarius sun sign friends. If you're born between the dates of November 22nd and December 21st, then you're a Sagittarian, and this reading is for you. Today's reading, we're going to do a Halloween slash Samhain spread, and you know, the end of the harvest is here. The only thing any of us are really harvesting come from Whole Foods, okay? But for those of you who are farmers, never mind, disregard that statement. But anyway, the end of the harvest is here. The thinning of the veil is occurring, and Samhain is here if you're a Wiccan, or Halloween if you're just a traditional person. And now's the time to do a great Halloween type spread. I call this the Halloween Samhain spread, and it's designed to tell you about the energies right now at this time of the end of the harvest. And this spread is going to tell us what to embrace, what you can let go of, what your courages are, your fears, what you can celebrate, and what you need to contemplate at this time of Halloween slash Samhain. And I'm going to be using the Druicraft Tarot. I believe this deck is just perfect for what we're doing. It's a deck themed in Druidry and Wicca, and so it's perfect for this time of year, I feel like. And so we're going to use this deck. Let me introduce you to my crystal friends. I've got my Sodalite Sphere as always. I've got my Sunstone Sphere here to bring some energy. But I've also got an Indigo Gabbro Sphere, which is a great crystal to help bridge the gaps between the third and the higher dimensions. So that's going to be perfect for what we're doing today. So I thought I'd bring him in. So if you would, give me a moment to center myself and ask the tarot cards the question: what are the energies surrounding Sagittarius sun signs at this time of Halloween or Samhain? Alright, that ought to do it. We'll cut the deck. And we're going to look at 6 cards. Alright, got some crystals in the way. No, you're not in the way, guys. Never mind. I enjoy your presence. While we're at it, we're going to take a look here at the Druid Animal Oracle. And we're going to ask the Druid Animal Oracle what message it has for Sagittarians this Halloween or this Samhain if you're Wiccan. What message for Sagittarian sun signs this Halloween or this Samhain? Right, and we're going to take a look at this card at the end. Alright, let's get into it. We're going to look at these cards individually and see what they have to say. The first card we're going to look at represents life and what to embrace at this time. And we've got the King of Cups. Okay, Sagittarian friends, this card is saying that you need to embrace the King of Cup energy. And what that means to me is the King of Cups is someone who is very well in charge of their emotions. They're not going to let their emotions get out of hand, but at the same time, they're going to really understand their emotions and understand what their emotions are trying to portray to them. And they're going to make tweaks in their life based on their emotions. So they're going to be very emotional. And when you're very emotional yet in charge of your emotions, and that enables a greater degree of empathy, a greater degree of creativity, of understanding, and of just empathizing with people. And so this Halloween, I think what you need to embrace is those emotions and really allow your emotions to take place. So many of us will repress our emotions, especially the ones that we don't like. And we'll kind of just focus on the ones we do, and that's not healthy. Those negative emotions are there to help us, and the King of Cups is the one to say, oh, that negative emotion is here now. Why am I feeling this way? What changes can I make to avoid this in the future? And that's the energy that this spread is asking you to embody this Halloween or this Samhain. So hold on to that and don't shy away from your emotions, but at the same time, don't allow them to take control of your life. Be detached from your emotions, but still very much in them. And I know it kind of sounds hokey. How can you be both at the same time? But I think you can. Personally, I think you can. I think you can be both. You can be detached from them and not allow them to control you, but you can still be, cognizant of them and use them to your advantage. Okay, so that's what to embrace at this time of Halloween, of Samhain, is to embody that King of Cups energy, and you're going to be more creative as a result. People are going to relate to you better. Your relationships are going to improve as a result of that. So just the benefits of doing that are just beyond explanation. There's going to be so many. So go ahead and try to do that to the best of your ability at this time. All right, the next card here represents death, and this card is what to let go of at this time of Halloween or of Samhain. And we've got the Seven of Swords. Stress, worry. This card to me in this deck really symbolizes like ego thoughts that really take up a lot of your time, take up a lot of your energy, and are just kind of, they steal from you, right? When you think of ego thoughts that don't serve you, that's what I think of when I think of the Seven of Swords, or thoughts of manipulation, thoughts of control, thoughts of fear, worry, doubt. And they keep us up at night and they make us lose sleep a lot. And that's what you need to let go of at this time, is overthinking, overanalyzing things to the point where you adopt negative belief systems based on these negative thoughts. That's a very dangerous thing it's a trapping that we don't want to get into at this time or at any time in our lives, because the ego is so desperate to control our lives. It'll do anything it can, even lie and manipulate, it'll tell us lies that aren't true so that it can get its way. Like, if you follow your dreams, you're not going to make a lot of money. That's an ego thought that is just self-sabotaging, because it doesn't want to lose control. It wants to be in charge. And if you follow your dreams, you're going to be following your heart and not your ego. And your ego doesn't want that. So at this time of Halloween, at this time of Samhain, please try to be more aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. Are they serving you? Get rid of those thoughts that are no longer serving you, that are telling you lies, because it's not benefiting you in any way. It's holding you back from your potential, and it's not healthy. So we don't need that at all. Let's get rid of that if we possibly can this Halloween time. Okay. All right, this card here represents your courage. Oh, I forgot to mention that the top half of this spread is like the light side, and the bottom half of the spread is the dark side. I should remember that. All right, this card here represents your courage at this time of Halloween of Samhain. We've got the High Priestess. My feeling from this card is that you guys are very courageous in kind of going inward and asking yourself the tough questions. The High Priestess to me is about the inner journey, the self-discovery journey, and in order to do that, you're going to have to ask yourself some really tough questions about the shadow side of yourself, specifically, or especially, I should say, and that's where your courage lies, Sagittarian friends, is that a lot of you are not afraid to do so. I mean, yes, to some degrees, and this is a general overall reading, so not everything's going to apply to everyone, but the general energy that I'm getting from this is that a lot of you are willing to go into that inward journey. You're willing to self-discover. You're willing to ask the tough questions that no one wants to ask. Why do I have these shadow aspects? What are these shadow aspects trying to teach me about myself? Those are the tough questions. And for most of us, we'd rather just suppress our shadow aspects and not have to deal with them and have them in the background and try to cover them up when they pop up into our lives. But the strength here, the courage of the Sagittarians, is from what I'm getting right now, is that you guys are not willing to do that. You don't want to do that. You'd rather get to the point of the matter and figure things out, right? Ask yourself those self-discovering questions. So that's where your courage lies. Keep that up. Don't stop doing that, because it's helping you so much. And if you don't do that, really adopt that, because that's what humans need to grow and evolve and become better. Okay? All right. This card here represents your fears. And we've got the High Priest. This is the Hierophant in traditional tarot. This is a Druid Wicca themed deck, so it's a little bit different. It's based in Welsh mythology. Welsh mythology. And we've got the High Priest here, and I think your fears... Hold on, let me go into this card for a moment. I'm getting like a fear of being told what to do, a fear of having too much restriction, a fear of being or feeling unfree. What's the opposite of free? Captive? Feeling captive. Maybe this has to do with society. Maybe this has to do with religion. Maybe this has to do with your own life and maybe the relationships you're engaged in or the jobs that you've undertaken. So I think there's definitely a fear of being caged in. When I think of Sagittarians, I think of spontaneity. I think of like, oh, today we're going on a 6-hour road trip. I just thought of it, right? So that's what I think of when I think Sagittarius. So I think maybe your fears have to do with not being able to do that. So having restrictions to the point where you can't just get up and go on an adventure at a moment's notice, right? And that's a definite fear that's, I guess, is kind of rational. Most fears, I think, are irrational. I mean, that's a rational fear, but just remember, guys, that you have all the power. You are creating the life that you want to create. You engage in relationships that are feeling restrictive. You choose to take jobs that kind of restrict your movements, right? Everything is your choice, and if you're feeling restricted or if you fear feeling restricted, then realize that you all have all the power to control that. You are controlling that through your choices, through your words, through your actions. And yes, it's a fear, and yes, no one wants to feel restricted or captive, but just remember that you are creating your reality, and through your thoughts, through your actions, through your words, you are making your own life. So if you want a life that has no restrictions, then make one. Don't be fearful of it. Go out there and do what's necessary to make a life where you have no restrictions or fewer restrictions. Alright, so let's move on over here let's get back to the light side. Okay, this card represents what to celebrate at this time of Halloween or Samhain. We've got the Nine of Wands. This card is suggesting to me that it's time to take a little bit of break. You guys have been working hard. You've been focused on your goals. You've been, just putting in the work that's necessary to get to where you want to go. And I think you need to celebrate that fact. Celebrate that you've gone through so much. You've accomplished so much. You've got your battle wounds, and now is the time to lick the battle wounds. Maybe show them off to people. Like you show them the scar. Like, this is where I got in that knife fight with the monkey in Macau, right? That sort of thing. Maybe take a little bit of a break from working so hard at this time is what this card is suggesting, and just celebrate how far you've come and really pat yourself on the back for a job well done. Yes, your job's not done. Yes, there's a lot more to go, but you're at this point now. I get the feeling, a lot of you, remember, general reading, not applying to everyone, but I get the feeling now that you're ready for a little bit of a break. This doesn't have to be a long extended break, but one of those breaks that just are just long enough to get you recharged without losing the momentum that you had going into the break. So if this means going on a weekend trip or visiting the forest or the beach one day, then so be it, and take some time out for yourself and really congratulate yourself on a job well done. And celebrate the fact that you've worked so hard, and you are a hard worker, and maybe you don't get enough breaks, so maybe now's the time for one. Alright, this last card here represents what to contemplate at this time of Halloween or Samhain. We've got the Five of Cups. Alright, what you need to contemplate on is emotions. This goes back to the King of Cups, I feel like. It's our only other cup card, but a lot of the times, and this is kind of contrasting with what to embrace, although it's suggesting that you focus on this. I'm just talking to myself right now. I'm trying to rationalize. I'm getting a meaning from this card that kind of contradicts this card, but now that I think about it, this card here is trying to explain this card. So basically what I'm trying to say here in a better way is that you really need to focus on your positive emotions and allow them to uplift you and uplift your life. You also need to focus on your negative emotions and not allow them to bring you down. That's the best way I can say it. And this card is about, really taking in all your emotions and not allowing them to sweep you away. Right, and that's why I mentioned the King of Cups, because that card told you what to embrace, and that card said embrace all your emotions. This card is saying embrace all your emotions, but really think about them, and think about how in the past you've allowed your emotions to take control of you. You've allowed them to sway your thinking, sway your feeling, and sway your actions in a either positive or negative way. And that's something to contemplate at this time of Halloween, this time of Samhain, is how you've allowed in the past your emotions to dictate your life. And of course, through that contemplation, you're going to see, the present moment and how the present emotions in your life are affecting your life. And through looking at that, you can start to formulate how you're going to respond to your emotions in the future, and whether or not you're going to allow them to take you down that path again. And yes, maybe your emotions are taking you down a positive path, and if that's the case, then follow that and keep doing it. Just reflect on it, is all this card is saying. But if your negative emotions have taken you down a path as well, then you need to reflect on that and see if that's something that was serving you, if any good came from that, any good came from those negative emotions that you kind of let take control of your life. So yeah, contemplate that this Halloween, this Samhain, and figure out how your emotions, play into your life and what kind of effect they've had on you, so that you can make tweaks. All right, so that is the Halloween Samhain spread. Very informative. Now we're gonna go to the Druid Animal Oracle, and we're gonna see what message it has for you this Halloween or this Samhain. And we've got dog. Let's move this. There we go. Dog. And of course, dog here is about loyalty. It's about protection. It's about having close relationships, and to appreciate those relationships and to guard those relationships. And I think the message here is the same for humans, right? Really look at your relationships. I do see a lot of emotion in this reading, and kind of look at your relationships and how you've allowed emotion to play a part in those relationships, how you've allowed your negative ego thinking to play a role in those relationships, how you've, allowed work or, whatever you're busy with affect those relationships, and really kind of show some gratitude for them, show some appreciation for them, and remember your loyalty to these people who have stuck by you. You've wronged them so many times in the past, yet they're still here. Of course, they've wronged you as well, but you're still here, and that's what makes a friendship. That's what makes a bond. And this card is asking you at this time of Halloween or of Samhain to take a look at how you've affected your friend or your family or your loved one, whatever close personal relationships you want to examine, and really see what role you've played in those relationships, and how you can do a better job, how you can strengthen those bonds, how you can be more have more gratitude for those bonds, and how you can just show that person appreciation. And just like the loyal companions, you'll find that if you do that, just like a dog, these people will be with you and be dedicated and loyal to you for the rest of their lives. Okay. All right. So thank you, Sagittarian friends. That was the Halloween Samhain reading. I hope you guys got something out of that. Remember, if you like this video, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know that I did something right and you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put those in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you want a professional reading where I tap into your energies, then head on over to my Etsy shop. I'll put a link in the description below, so you can just click on that and see what kind of readings I offer. All right, Sagittarian friends, it's an interesting time of year. A lot of introspection, a lot of resting and healing that needs to occur at this time. But I think if you follow these guidelines, you're going to have a great time of year, end of harvest time. So I wish you all the best. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting.